I think the greatest benefit is that teaching and learning is a lot about learning from each other. We all have inspiring ideas about how we are able to develop teaching and learning for the future, but we don't know everyone who also has inspiring ideas. And I think the benefit is really coming together and learning from each other. What I see with all the colleagues I work with in Europe is that every time I meet someone involved in teaching and learning, I learn something new, and sometimes the others also learn something new. So we can help each other to create authentic, inspiring, interactive teaching and learning environments that really serve the learners' needs.
So as much as the pandemic has isolated individuals, I think on a global scale, we're connecting with each other at multiple levels to share ideas and to discover solutions to the kind of common challenges we face. And within universities and at the national level, we're seeing linkages among units like Centers for Teaching and Learning, writing programs, student academic support programs, libraries, IT. And all of these sites are partnering more directly with academic departments and with national sites like the Teaching and Learning Forum in Ireland. And I think the work of the Teaching and Learning Forum through their funding and their awards, such as the Research Scholars, the Teaching and Learning Research Scholars, and the Delta Awards are great examples of these linkages.
One of the interesting things is that research has always been international, with conferences and networks and publications. But teaching has been local for a very long time, mainly focused on institutions. And that means that educators don't really talk to each other. They don't exchange perspectives. They don't build on each other's work like researchers do. And the great value of international collaboration lies precisely in that, in sharing ideas, in learning from each other, but above all, in belonging to a community of people who are constantly striving to be better at what they do.
The most interesting aspects of collaborating with others that are involved in the same thing, and this question is the improvement of teaching and learning, is have the feeling that we are all moving in the same direction, and also see that the problems are more or less the same. We have the same problems in different national contexts. And even if we are very different, we have an impressive variety of people, of educational systems, especially among Europe, for example. We have the same problems because our problems are in the base of everything. What we understand about what is teaching, what is learning, how the knowledge is changing, how the creation of knowledge is changing in the last years.
I think the first thing to realize is that we all operate in very different contexts depending on which country we happen to be in, and there's a whole range of factors that can contribute to that. So for example, it could be the funding landscape, it could be the historical development of the higher education system, and of course the culture of the people within the country can be a huge factor in relation to that context. And all of that conditions us to think about teaching in certain ways. And actually it's only when you begin to interact with colleagues outside of your own country, when you start to look at the different ways that people are addressing broadly similar challenges in different contexts, do you realize that you're constraining yourself in many respects. And it really does broaden your thinking, it broadens your whole approach, and ultimately in terms of teaching and learning, it can bring really big benefits to your students. And of course, that's what we're trying to achieve in the longer term. One final point I would make is that higher education is increasingly becoming increasingly international. So we're increasingly working with cohorts from different countries and different classrooms, and understanding the learning environments that students have previously experienced and how difficult it might be to translate into your own environment can help you to integrate students into the learning experience more effectively.
Education does not happen in controlled conditions like in laboratories. Education is situated in the real world. Therefore, collaborating across countries, across nations, across education systems is a very important idea if we want to develop education globally and if you want to learn to develop it locally. So collaborating internationally is a way of sharing, but it's also a way of learning how to do things better.